Hello everyone. Hope you're having a good evening. So yes, my name is Ben. I am a volcanologist. Now from experience I realise that some people don't always know what volcanologist means, and I do not study Spock, neither do I study falcons. I study volcanoes, and this is all very exciting. Now maybe quite a few of you know that here in the UK we have a lot of volcanoes, but they're all a bit dead, all extinct. They're not very interesting. I think they're quite boring, to be honest, so I like to go off chasing all the active ones. So I do a lot of travelling over the course of my PhD, which I'm sort of nearing the end of now. So yeah, I've had the opportunity to go travelling around the world, and this has been great for me. It's been the best part of my project and my research. And one of the cool things about travelling to new places is you get to try lots of new food. I'm quite a big eater, I like food, and I've been lucky enough to spend a lot of my time in Italy, where I've fully gorged myself on all sorts of pizza and pasta. So much so that my girlfriend has said that my fieldwork has fully ruined pizza for me. And I would fully agree, Domino's is shit. But there's a downside to travelling, and for me personally, is I do often end up feeling a little ill. I do this when it seems to be on every single trip I go to, I end up getting the shits. And this the worst case of this was when we went out to Montserrat, which is a lovely little island in the Caribbean. And it's a great place if any of you ever get to travel there. It's a tiny island, it's only about the size of Dublin, and it's got a really cool volcano called Soufrière Hills. And this is on the sort of south end of the island, and it's continually putting out gas, all sorts of nice volcanic gases. It sort of forms this nice lovely plume that drifts out over the sea. So that's why we were there. I'm going to kill myself with this wire if I'm not too careful. So we were there to measure the gases in the plume, and how do we do this? Well, it's up in the air, so naturally you get a helicopter, you fly through the plume back and forth, and you sort of sample the gas as you do, and then what does that tell you? It tells you what gases are in the plume, it tells you how much gas is in the plume, and that can tell us a bit about what the volcano is doing. So on the day, we were there for a few days, and on the day the helicopter arrived, yes, I had the shits. So about half an hour before the helicopter arrived, I spent that half hour on the toilet, dying. Luckily I managed to pull myself together, but by the time it arrived, and then we had to spend about another half an hour sort of putting all our equipment together and mounting it to the helicopter, which basically involves a lot of duct tape. If anyone's ever done science in the field, duct tape is your friend. So yeah, we spent about half an hour inside this helicopter, sort of, getting everything ready to fly, and basically what this was like is sitting inside a metal box being baked by the Caribbean sun. So by the time we actually took off, I was once again dying. But we lift off into the air, and obviously up in the air it's a bit cooler. There's a lovely breeze blowing in through the window, and I was like, oh, you know what, I can get through this, everything's okay. It's going to be alright. And then we flew into the plume. Has anyone here actually visited a volcano? Obviously you may have smelt the volcano. It's a sort of quite disgusting mix of rotten eggs and sort of a really bad chlorine that burns the back of your throat. So a very unpleasant mix, and definitely not one that I was looking forward to. So we hit the plume. The cabin sort of filled with this rank smell, and then we're sort of flying backwards. We fly through the plume, and then we do this sharp bank turn, and back again, and then again, and about 10 times doing this, and by the time my stomach doesn't know whether it's coming or going, and I was about ready to explode. But luckily, we made it back just about to the landing pad, and nothing too bad had happened, but there was definitely an eruption later that day. But like I said earlier, I really enjoy fieldwork. It's not all doom and gloom. I've had some really good experiences. It's definitely been the best part of my PhD, I would say. But as I mentioned, I'm in my third year now. I'm coming to the end, and I'm sort of having to face the grim reality that is the real world. I'm gonna have to get a job. Don't like this. I've been thinking maybe, in the sort of line of work of volcanology, I spend a lot of time on mountains that actually literally explode from time to time, so maybe this isn't the best idea for a sort of a long-term career prospect. So I've been thinking, well, what else can I do? And as part of my PhD, I've done a lot of tutoring of some undergrad students, and I really enjoy this. I like this sort of teaching aspect of what I do, so I thought, well, maybe I can go and be a teacher. That's great, yeah. But I don't want to dive straight in, so I thought, well, I'll test the waters slightly. And I did this by sort of getting more involved with public outreach, so basically stuff like this. We get to go out and talk to the public and sometimes talk to schools about the research that you do, and I thought that's a great chance to test the waters with working with kids. So last week I did that. I went out to one of the schools here in Manchester, and I talked to them about volcanoes. And they seemed to have a great time, so we set up these sort of Coke and Mentos explosions, and we had a golden syrup lava flows, and it was all very messy, and they were having a great time. All these kids were asking lots of really brilliant questions, and it was all very good. One of the things I was talking about towards the end is where do we find volcanoes? Well, you know, they're not just on Earth, they're also in space. So a lot of the planets in our solar system have volcanoes on as well. For example, Venus is the most volcanically active body in our solar system. But there's also evidence of volcanism on the Moon and on Mars, but because they're a little bit smaller than the Earth, they've cooled over time and they don't really erupt anymore. And unfortunately, one of the students at the school got a little bit scared by this. Now, this is a little kid. I'm not quite sure how little. Most kids are little compared to me, so year 4, whatever that means. So then this little kid said to me, he sort of walked up and went, you know, he said Mars sort of grew cold and died. I was like, yeah. He said, I don't know why he's this tall, maybe he was still on the box, there we go. And he said, well, that happened to the Earth. You know, will the Earth freeze and will we all die? And I went, he's scared, poor little kid. I thought I'll be reassuring to him, so I leaned down and I said, don't you worry, the world's not going to freeze over and die like that. It's not going to go the way of Mars and the way of the Moon, no. And he's like, phew. Because the sun will explode and turn into a crisp before then. And you can just see the look of initial relief, the turn to confusion, and then horror. And just at that moment, the teacher's like, right, that's all it's done for the day, let's go outside. And he's like, no. I was contemplating telling him that Santa didn't exist as well, but I thought I was just kicking him while he's down. So yeah, in the long run, I don't really think that the teaching's really for me, so I think I'll stick to the research, including the fieldwork sort of shits and all. So, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and see you later.